right. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hopefully, we have everything correctly configured. We're live with G.B.R. George Boston Rhines, currently residing in Valdosta, Georgia, in Lowndes County. And today, we are really experimenting. It's our first time together live for sure, and my first time using Google Hangouts. I successfully have used the telephone feature, but the video call feature seems to have been amiss. So we don't really know if we did something wrong or whatever, but maybe we'll get to the bottom of it. But right now, we do have special guest G.B.R. And I'm just going to do a Q&A, a really brief Q&A. Of course, ACON4AWHILE here. My name's Alan Watson. I'm also from Valdosta, Georgia, Lowndes County. I've resided there since 1993. As a young person, you know, I got there when I was 13 years old. So I've dealt with Lowndes County for many years, and I have a story as well. But of course, a lot of y'all know that, but we can get with this perspective in unison here. So with G.B.R. here, I have some questions, and I'm honored, by the way, first and foremost, to be with such an activist in the community that is so commendable to me. And anybody out there listening, if they want to know what a true hero is, it's somebody who gets involved in the community. It's somebody who is destined to make a change for the better in the world. So, Mr. G.B.R., I am honored to be in your presence tonight. So I hope that everything is going well with you.
Outstanding, my brother.
All right. Well, we'll get right on to the point, and I got your picture pulled up here. Hopefully, I don't know if you can see it or not live on your end. Were you able to refresh and see anything?
No, sir, I don't see anything, but let's just keep talking. That's all. The words was me more than a picture.
Okay, well, you'll definitely be able to see it. And since we're live, it's no big deal. But it's nothing you haven't seen before. I just pulled up your Boston G.B.R. 2013 blogspot picture. I scrolled on down, and we've got Brother George Boston Rhines giving his weekly radio broadcast at WLAT radio station in Conway, South Carolina, while stationed at Myrtle Beach Air Force Base in 1982. And what an amazing picture there. Wow. And I mean, we are speaking with a true patriot and warrior in this movement. My goodness. So it's just an honor. And so we scroll on down, and we get to one of these pictures. It says, "This picture means so much to me." And I did mention this, one of your quotes here, by the way, in the last broadcast last night. It helped me make a point, by the way. But I'll get to it. It says, "This picture means so much to me because it shows that true love, unity, respect, and equality are ties that truly binds." It says, "After the death of the Honorable Al Parson, I was deeply humbled that this picture had been taken with the five of us, and although others should have been with us, but were not, because this is how time and destiny wanted it to be." Reading from left to right, you got Charles Moore, and we've got he's a writer at the Lake Park Post, and we've got Vicky English, writer, co-editor at the Post, Al Parson, owner and backbone of the Post, and then G.B.R., of course. And we've got Miss Lee Touchton, supporter partner, historical figure, and says she was the first white lady to hold the office of president of an NAACP branch in America. So be not deceived when we cannot put all white people in the same tree trunk. These people stood with me when blacks were nowhere to be found. I do not put my own black brothers and sisters down. However, Jesus said, "And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make and set you free. There, the more truth I speak, the more freer I become." And so, with that said, it helps solidify a lot about what's going on now. And we will get into that. First and foremost, I would like to go over this criminal trespass. And what I did was I did pull up the Georgia law. So I would like to read that verbatim. Okay, we got criminal trespass in the Georgia, and this is according to what we can pull up readily on the internet, given the parameters that we all have. Because as you guys know, ones that follow me, you guys know that law enforcement or the legal system is withheld from the public, and it is almost encoded. I mean, it is encoded, and it is even in another language in many instances, and is extremely can be extremely confusing. So with that said, this is Justia, OCGA 16721, which is Article 2, Part 1. So Article 2 is criminal trespass and damage to property, and Part 1 is general provisions, and it says 167-21. So most people don't even know how to read that, and just first and foremost, this is confusing for everybody because neither one of us are lawyers, from what I understand, Mr. G.B.R. Is that correct?
Right.
So, both of us are not attorneys here, but let's go ahead and let's read this verbatim so we know exactly what has been placed maliciously on Mr. G.B.R. for just simply being a member of the United States, a citizen of the United States, and wanting to exercise his First Amendment rights and all other amendments associated, but especially with the Ghetto Free Press. He is definitely a member of the press, so he needs to be treated like that and not like a criminal. Let's read this. A person commits the offense of criminal trespass when he or she intentionally damages any property of another without consent of that other person, and the damage thereto is $500 or less, or knowingly and maliciously interferes with the possession or use of the property of another person without consent of that person. Okay, let's keep going. That's Part A. Then Part B, we've got a person commits the offense of criminal trespass when he or she knowingly and without authority, 1, enters upon the land or premises of another person or into any part of any vehicle, railroad, car, aircraft, or watercraft of another person for an unlawful purpose. Number 2, enters the land premises of another person or into any part of any vehicle, railroad, car, aircraft, or watercraft of another person without receiving prior to such entry notice from the owner, rightful occupant, or upon proper identification, an authorized representative of the owner or rightful occupant that such entry is forbidden, or remains upon the land or premises of another person or within the vehicle, railroad, car, aircraft, or watercraft of another person after receiving notice from the owner, rightful occupant, or upon proper identification and authorized representative of the owner or rightful occupant to depart. And then Part C, we get into, and if that's not confusing enough, for the purposes of subsection B, this code section, permission to enter or invitation to enter given by a minor, and it gets into that. So let's not even, you haven't done any of this stuff. I'll be honest with you. I know off the bat. It says a person commits a criminal trespass shall be found guilty of a misdemeanor. So first of all, we're looking at a misdemeanor. And then it says, the last final thing, we'll go ahead and read this. It says a person E commits the offense of criminal trespass when he or she intentionally defaces, mutilates, or defiles any grave marker, monument, or memorial to one or more deceased persons who served in the military service of the United States of America, or any of the states thereof, or the Confederate States of America, or any of the states thereof, or a monument, plaque, marker, or memorial which is dedicated to the honors or recounts the military service of any past or present military personnel of this state, the United States of America, or any of the states thereof, or Confederate States of America, or any states thereof, if such grave marker, monument, memorial, plaque, or marker is privately owned or located on land which is privately owned. My goodness. This right here blows my mind, because that last part is a direct reference to your service to the country, sir.
Yes, sir.
And I mean, it is just, it's like, if these people could be any more disgraceful, I don't really know how much farther they can go. And I don't want to even think about it, because I think that they are getting a little scared at this point right now. I think that enough people are waking up, and that's the goal here. First and foremost is, we are trying to get to the truth, and we tend to spread the truth that is not being given to you. The Ghetto Free Press, G.B.R. openly states periodically and quite frequently that we are bringing the news that is not being brought to you otherwise. So what I would like to go into is what exactly do we think on this, what I just read, that these people, I guess it's between the Lowndes County Sheriff's Office and it's really the officer that actually issued it. That is, he's very important, and Wes Taylor. And I pulled up this video here of you actually recording the interaction between the officer and an interaction between Wes Taylor. And I
That's
think,
correct.
okay, go ahead.
Yes, that's correct. This was at the time that it happened. First of all, the Sheriff Deputy Thomas, I was going to graduation, and he specifically said that Wes Taylor had ordered me to not go on any property belonging to Lowndes County High School. And those are the actual words. The first one is actual words from the deputy. Mm-hmm. We also got one with Wes Taylor actual words, talking to my friends, and he said he didn't do it. Yet you can hear them on the Sheriff Deputy radio saying that Wes Taylor did it. So what is happening is that after the death of Kendrick Johnson, apparently they didn't want me to be on the campus because they must have believed that some of those kids would talk to me when possibly they would not talk to the local TV, radio, and newspaper people here.
Okay, I see what you're saying now. And you know what? I want to be, when you said the last part about the local newspapers and stations there, I have witnessed personally, I know a lot of people have, I know probably over 100,000 or more people at least have watched a video where Wes Taylor's daughter is actually claiming to be one of the first ones to see Kendrick Johnson's body. Am I correct about that?
To my understanding, that is correct, but a lot of that has been squashed, and the thing, let me tell you something about me. I don't go into rumors. What I mostly speak of and publish is the truth that I'm willing to go in a court of law on. So dealing with his daughter, that type of thing, I'm not going down that road as much on that. I'm just straight up.
Right. But yeah, but you get what I was saying, that it seems to me that this criminal trespass at that particular time you brought up was that it could have had an issue to do with the influence that you may have had over the students in questioning as opposed to their own questioners, so to speak. So, yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to get at there.
Right. Well, let me help you paint that picture. First of all, see what happened is the father, Kenneth, called me the night that his son was missing. I was in bed at 11 o'clock. He called me and said, George, they killed my son. And so he said, I need to talk to you tomorrow. I said, no, sir. I got up out of my bed and I went to his house that night.
Yes, sir.
And I sat with them approximately about 4 o'clock that night. And I called all the state leaders and influence I had with the NAACP, state, Gilbert DuBose, and all those guys. Mm-hmm. And I'm the one that said to them that we need to have a press conference, and you need to tell the sheriff's department not to take that body out of Lowndes County until some family member get the idea. Mm-hmm. So, long short, so we can stay on point, is that they knew apparently that I was with the father, and I was close to them, and they know I would report it. I don't hide it, and I can't be controlled. And so I got a strong belief, along with other people that know me, that they did that to keep me out of the picture, because the Valdosta Daily Times and the Channel 6, Channel 10, and 27, even until this very day, people are questioning why they have not reported, not even once, that I am under a criminal trespass for 4 years and 5 months. No newspaper in the state of Georgia, no news media outlet they will not touch it. They won't publish it. When Michael Moore, the U.S. Justice Department, he was aware of me being under criminal trespass. Nobody. I talked to the DOJ in Atlanta. I don't want to call the individual names that I talked to.
Right.
The Attorney General, Sam Olin. All these people are familiar with that, but they will not touch it with a 10-foot pole. So apparently they know that something is up, but they won't look into it. No, but they won't even publish it to the general public. Nobody's talking about that.
So okay, so this is what I was going to ask you, and I think that I'm not sure if you'd already done this or not. Have you actually filed the Freedom of Information Act request with the Lowndes County Sheriff's Department over the criminal trespass issue?
Uh, uh, this thing is so drawn out. But let me put it to you like this. When it first happened, I went to the sheriff himself. He told me he didn't know anything about it, that he would get back with me. Sheriff Prine.
Right. That's right.
I went to CID, Criminal Investigative Department. They say they didn't have nothing on me.
Oh, yeah.
Lieutenant Scribe Jones was the one that I talked to. I left there. I went to the municipal court judge, and they said nothing was on me. I went to the Superior Court, the district attorney, David Miller at that time, and the lady there told me that she said to me, she said, well, they put you under there? I said, yes, but transmit over the radio. She said, they didn't put nothing in writing? Each agency that I went on, the municipal court, the sheriff, the district attorney, clerk, they told me they can't do that. What did they do?
Okay,
they said they can't do that. That's illegal. I left there. I went to the federal court just for the record. They ran my driver's license federal court here in Valdosta, second floor at the post office. They said they can't do that. And so they said, we have nothing on you. They said, we suggest you going back to the sheriff's department. So the bottom line was nobody had anything on me. Now, what I did is I requested from the sheriff's department and West Taylor to send me anything they had on me, whether it was a recording, justification for putting me on a criminal trespass, and I asked them to send me a letter removing me from this criminal trespass. And I got the letter right over here in the corner. I had it blown up to 8 by 10 or bigger just to keep with me. And so I have that letter. They stated that neither agency have anything on me. So I wrote back to them, told them that I need a letter removing me, and they will not remove me from it. So if the radio from the sheriff's department put me under it, I need something from some government agency removing me before I go out there on that property. So they have restricted me for 4 years and 5 months, and they will not remove me. But then again, this is Lowndes County and Valdosta, Georgia. They make up the laws as they go, and I've been saying that for about 20 years. And very few people seem to understand that.
Yes.
So to answer your question short form, yes, I asked them for all videotapes, and they didn't give me nothing.
Yeah, because you did even further than a Freedom of Information Act. Just let that be known, because a lot of people don't even know what a Freedom of Information Act request is. It's just, all it is a formal request. You just go there, you say, look, I want everything on anything on me, I want it to be known. I want it in writing right now. And if they give you back nothing, then what you do is, from this point, this is what you have to do. You have got to report this Deputy Thomas is the person, I guess, that did this, right? He's the one that ID'd you, right? He's the one that said, you look like a criminal, or he just basically said, you look like you're about to commit some kind of act. But see, he knew who you were. See, he knew who you were, and he ID'd you anyways. That's what I think happened. I know, that's what I feel like I know now. I mean...
Right, but let me shed a little more light on that.
Okay.
I was not in my vehicle. I was in a rental car because a lady had ran in the back of me over in Quitman.
Okay.
So I was in a rental car, and when I was going to the graduation, he stopped me. I don't know who told him, but he stopped me. Then the sheriff's deputy desk clerk, operator, it came over all deputy radios, said that George Boston Ryan is under criminal trespass, and it had been in effect 2 weeks before that date.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. Oh yeah.
Therefore, it was not necessarily Deputy Thomas, but somebody in the sheriff's department had already posted that at the clerk, because it went over one radio. I think it went out over all the radios. They say that's who it was.
Okay.
And say it was ordered, and that it was ordered by School Superintendent West Taylor.
Okay. Well, and you called him, and he acts like that he doesn't know what you're talking about, right?
No, I didn't call him.
Oh, okay.
Here's what happened.
Okay.
My my friend, a reverend from Antioch Baptist Church named John Henry Robinson.
Okay.
He knew on the property. So he called, and what you hear, then I think you might have it, you can play it.
Yeah, let me see.
They can actually hear where Taylor saying, I didn't do it. But he thinks that the sheriff's department found something in my record, in my background that I did years ago or something, and said that Thomas Robert, he didn't get in touch with me or the sheriff. But the sheriff had already told me that he didn't have nothing on me, but he would check. So this is what I don't understand. It's between Sheriff Prime, Wes Taylor, that put me under this thing, in the Justice Department under Eric Holder, President Barack Obama, because I notified every damn body. I served this country during the Vietnam War, and it's a damn shame the way that they treat me, because if they put me under, and look, the reason I would not back away from this, some of my civil rights leaders tell me, Ryan, just go out there on the property and make them arrest you, then sue them. I said, no, I am not a law violator. I am a law follower. And so I didn't have to break the law to go into the armed forces during the Vietnam War. I didn't have to get no attorney to sign my name on the paper to be willing to die for this country. So I should not have to go to jail to prove my point. I didn't have to do it to go to serve in the army.
Right.
And so the bottom line is that this is a game, but even more serious and sickening for white people, for white folks. White people got to understand, if they are stationed at Moody Air Force Base today, or going to Valdosta State University, or if they go to Wild Adventure Theme Park, Kinderloo Golf Course, or Georgia Military, all the people are subject to the same thing that happened to me. And what I don't understand is no government agency. I went to every local government agency in Valdosta and Loudoun County, and they still ignore me as if though I am a Russian or a person from China and never served this nation a day. And what's more sickening than all of this is the news media, the Valdosta Daily Times. I went to them. The editor, can't think of her name right now, but the editor of the Valdosta Daily Times, she ignored me. Channel 6, Channel 10, 27, Channel 10, not a one of them will tell this story to the general public. So you got all these parents, got children going to Loudoun County High School. The same thing can happen to them, and for the most part, the people here are left dumb because they don't have a news media that will tell the story.
That is right, and you have been harping on something similar to this. I mean, these types of attacks with the Quitman 10+2, I've just realized that as well. But I want to stay with this topic because this is very important, and you've got, like you said, leaders are trying to tell you, hey, G.B.R., just go up there, make them arrest you. We need a civil protest. But I'll tell you what, I mean, this is illegal. We have got to stand up for what the rights are. You aren't breaking the rules, sir. I know what you're doing in trying to be in accordance with what these people are doing, but we have caught them in their own little games, that they've been playing. They've been caught up. They thought they could just keep going and going and going with nobody ever getting to the bottom of what these people have been doing because they've been getting away with it for so long without the freedom of the press being as strong as it is today. You know that so much more was covered up back in the day. And so now, everybody having these phones, everybody being able to be able to do Freedom of Information Acts and to do activism like yourself, you've been doing it long before Kendrick Johnson's death. So I think they had an eye on you for a long time before any of this because you've already, for instance, talked about the death of inmate Willie James Williams. That goes back
to 1998.
That's what I'm saying. So you're talking only, 15 years after, pretty much, less than 15 years after that date, we've got Kendrick Johnson coming up missing. But anywhere between that, you already know there's way more deaths. I want to say you said a number around 31. I mean, I just, to this point right now, what we really, I feel like, have to do collectively is continually record, and write down these politicians and their crimes because it is a crime what these people have done. It's just, we can't speculate, right, and everything. And you want to get to the facts, and I do too. I think everybody does. So I think that Yes.
Look, let me say this. You say 31. Let me give you a little background on this. I'm gonna be brief to the point because I like to be short, but I want to be substance, have some substance.
Right, definitely.
I was stationed at Fluid Air Force Base in '75. I started talking and questioning about James Dent that was shot in Quitman in the back of Washington's funeral home. That was in around the 70s. Okay, I was active then.
Wow.
Then you're talking about Earl Evans, a black police officer who was a great basketball player at Washington Street High School. He was dating a white girl. They shot him. They burned him up in the police car, and nothing has been done about it. The Wootons, the Demps was out swimming, and they tell me that they drowned those black boys out there in the pond. Nothing was done about it. But I talked about that as well, and I talked about other deaths. If you Google Brooks County death, you will find the names of many black people. Not to mention the week of terror of May 1918 when they cut the baby from Mary Turner's stomach.
That's right.
All of this information has been brought to the service by me at one time or another. It's so much information until it just don't make sense. But I'm saying to you is that, and I'm saying to the people that's listening and that will listen to this, there is so many black souls crying out from the backwoods of South Georgia that the Justice Department at the federal, state, and local level cannot resolve. It's impossible. God's going to have to deal with these people and their generations to come in order to pay them for what they have done. And the Bible tells us that this punishment and this curse will be passed down to the third and fourth generation. And so I pray for those white people who have done that and have never repented. And what they have done to me, to me it's like kindergarten. Because whether we get justice here on this earth or not, they will pay for what they have done, not only to me. I have a listing of other people that are also under a criminal trespass from the Lowndes County High School.
Okay, and so I really appreciate that insight about yourself and this knowledge that I didn't even know. And I'm getting up to date, sir. I mean, it's just like you said. It is so overwhelming. I mean, if you try to bring something up so small that just happened yesterday, it goes over people's heads. So, I mean, it's like going back to the 70s. I mean, that just blows people's minds. And you go back even further than that, it's just really it's demoralizing. But at the same time, what I say, my suggestion to you and to all that are listening right now in this movement who have criminal trespasses or pending charges like myself that have not been dismissed yet, criminal all the way around the board, full spectrum. My suggestion to everybody out there is to stick with the black and the white. When I say that, I'm just saying the OCGA, for instance, with this criminal trespass. What I would do in this situation, I'll just be honest, what I would do is, for one thing, I would report the officer as if that this officer was acting out of the way or acting by himself, because that is what I think. That's why they don't have any record of any of this, is because it was under the table type thing. See, it wasn't recorded. The same thing they did to me and many other people in the county. They will not have it on record, or they'll just make something up when they get some charges that they want to get on you. If they weasel their way in some kind of way to your property inside of your home, some kind of way like that where they can get around you and try to blame you for something or catch you doing something supposedly, right? But these people they will make up a story. I've got it, like I said in my video, and you posted actually not too long ago. I really appreciate that. But the InfoWars being a drug-dealing website garbage that I had to go through, the very first statement in the officer's report was a lie, and that was the head officer. Okay, and he's still operating in Lowndes County right now. And these people have already been sued multiple times, and they've even been arrested, one of which attacked a woman. Okay, so that is on record, and that you want to talk about negligence in hiring, that is a lawsuit. But my issue is that these people, if you try to take them to court, we already know, look what happened to Kendrick Johnson's case, and look what's happening to, even my case right now, and yours, for instance, 4 solid years, DOJ waiting, 2 years after they pick up the case, the full extent of the time that they can possibly wait to push it on, see, the maximum amount of time.
Alan,
Yes, sir.
I don't know how many people we are reaching, but I do know this. I know a plus when I hear it. I feel you, and I know that the two of us need to sit down in front of a camera and dialogue that we are doing now. And let's just start talking like this on video, and then invite the people in the community to take a part.
Definitely.
And let the people see, let this community see real people, because they have never heard the truth before. Because there are those behind the curtain in Oz, the Wizard of Oz, behind the curtain, that are keeping the truth from coming out. There are, and see what you are doing tonight, and what from the time you called me, and I want you to talk a little bit about where you met me at,
okay,
and how you called me, because I'm gonna be honest with you, this is what I've been telling black people since '75. We cannot allow these criminals and crookeds to make us fight one another because of the pigmentation of our skin. I will never fall for that, because I know that it is a trick. That ain't nothing but a trick. There are more white people that tell me, Ryan, keep doing what you're doing. Here's a few dollars to help you with some gas, because we know nobody gonna help you, and they don't. And so we got to come together and quit past skin color, and let's make these criminals pay for what they have done to not just black folks, but to collectively to all the citizens here in South Georgia under the Southern judicial system.
Absolutely, absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself, brother. And I really, really commend all of the work that you have done. We'll go ahead and cut this one short. We did cover a lot today. We covered a little bit of Kendrick Johnson and the trespass like I really wanted to cover. So I really thank you for your time. And like you said, we will get together for sure. And this was amazing. I'm so glad that I got this opportunity to have this recorded. I'll share it on LiveLeak after we get done with this, and other places. A lot of times I've noticed streaming at this particular hour, there aren't so many people jumping right on this channel. For instance, right now I've only got 40-something subscribers so far on this YouTube channel, although I do have a pretty large impact given 40 subscribers. I've got one video with almost 6,000 views that includes Lee Touchton, and she did a really good job actually getting her point across, and it could have, almost single-handedly have taken care of part of the, some corruption that went on at VSU. And I don't want to speculate because I don't know specifically, why so-and-so stepped down. I'll just put it like that. So, but thank you so much.
Before you close,
I'm sorry?
Before you close, I would like to find out how I can do it on my channel as well, because I got 2,200 subscribers.
Yes.
And over 1 million views around the world. And so we got to work the best we can to get the most outreach, as they say, to make the big audience. We got to go to work.
That's right. That's right. And I'm in this situation where actually I just got out of the Irma evacuation situation. So to give you a little quick brief background of what's been going on recently and why we haven't been making more active progress. The Irma situation had me evacuate to Georgia, where I went to where G.B.R. was, and we were without power for 5 days there. I don't know about you, Mr. G.B.R. Did you do okay?
No, I was out for 5 days.
For 5 days. See, I was in Hayhira, so we were out for 5 days out there on the farm there. But luckily, we have a couple of generators out there, and we were okay. It was a little inconvenient for a little while and everything, but it brought family together, and I'm thankful for that at the same time. So, it was kind of ironic whenever I fled, when I fled from Florida, the spot in Florida didn't have anything go on with it at all. And so it's a little ironic there. I went to the state to flee and end up having to deal with stuff. But that's the way the Lord works. That's why I always say that things are tentative. But at the same time, when I say that's the way the Lord works, please don't get me wrong and twisted in me trying to implicate any kind of religion, because that is going to cause divisiveness, I know, amongst so many people. So let's just, I figure, the truth is going to set you free. If we stick on the truth, we can't go wrong. Nobody can get in our way, Mr. G.B.R. Nobody.
Yes, sir.
So, that's the way we can do it. And I respect all religions and brothers and sisters out there of all colors and creeds, as long as they are standing on the creed that involves truth being at the pinnacle and not, violating somebody else's rights and personal property. And so that's where I stand. Each person has to do their own due diligence when it comes to the spiritual journey that we all are up against. But we got to get rid of these people like yourself and myself are obligated, because we have been through so much. You've been through so much, sir. I mean, nobody could step in your shoes. It's just nobody can step in mine. And it's just, all we can do is give our perspective and let people understand what happened to us, And so just communication is the key, and how we communicate is definitely imperative. So I will take note. And like I said, if we can get together in the town, if I can get a chance to do that, I mean, whenever I settle, because I'm going to go ahead and settle, be honest with you right now. If I get a large settlement, sir, I will promise you that there will be a radio station for us somewhere. We'll set it up somewhere. I don't care if it's in my backyard or, wherever, but in some shed somewhere. You see what I'm saying? But we will have a place that we can go live broadcast every single day, go out in the community, and we can just get fired up and get other people fired up for the truth and love in the community. Because really, the message of truth is very uplifting. Yes, it involves Mr. Kendrick Johnson, the boy Kendrick Johnson. It involves that, okay? But, hey, we look at the bright side of things. Can you imagine what greatness can come out of the situation? So that's the way I look at things.
May I say this?
Yes.
I know, because I know according to Scripture. St. Matthew 24:35. Say, heaven and earth will pass away, but my word, which is the truth, will stand forever. That means that though we suffer and though we die by the blood of the Lamb, we shall overcome. We're going to overcome the wicked forces in God's world. If I did not believe that, I would have then put my heart on the willows thereof and went back in hiding.
I hear that. So, yeah, the positive will always outweigh the negative in every culture, religion, and creed you can think about. I know that much. Even if you play chess, the white has an advantage, a slight advantage because it moves first, right? It has a half a point advantage, if you know anything about chess. But yes, sir, I have greatly enjoyed this conversation, and as well as I do that we've got greatness ahead. So we can just keep striving. If you want to do this type of broadcasting live, I can help you with that in some way. You just, if you have a good connection, depends on what your bandwidth is there and so forth. And in certain areas like Florida, where I'm at, my internet almost never goes out. So I know what it's like in Valdosta. It's not really that great. Mine
at my house is perfect because first of all, I upload a lot of videos.
Right.
So they gave me, I'm paying for it, but I don't have the bottom quality of internet. Mine is up there, but I pay for it.
Okay. Yeah. So, okay. Well, that's good. I mean, if we can come up with some way, like I said, I can help you out with the broadcasting software, just the understanding of it, that's all it is. But at the same time, you have to have a fast computer. I do have that. So there's stipulations, there's certain factors that are involved with the broadcasting of the live, but broadcasting live with Twitter and Facebook, I've been experimenting with those, and even YouTube, they've been going really well. So
educate me, man. I'm up the vessels, man, but I'm willing.
Oh, I'll come up there. I'll come meet you, brother. I tried to meet you when I went to go flee from the hurricane. I'll be honest with you. That's why I tried to contact you. I got to see if I can meet up with G.B.R. before I leave. I tried to, just to see, but it wasn't meant for us to do it right then. So
where are you in Florida, man? I'll come to Florida.
I'm actually in what's called Palm Beach County, and so it's pretty far. It's not, you're not too far.
I don't care about that. I just ain't going that far.
Well, sir, if I had a place for you to stay right now, I'll tell you, come right on, brother. Let's get this thing popping. So, But what we got to do, is you're there right there, brother. And I just pray that, you keep your spirits up. We're going to get to these people. Don't worry about it. We're going to get to them. You already know. So we've got this alliance, this powerful alliance right now. And I don't care if it's just you and me. We're going to make history, brother. Don't worry about it. We'll do it.
Listen. I don't want to make history.
You've already made history. What are you talking about?
No, not even that. I am history.
That's right.
I don't make history. I am history.
That is right.
Listen. I am history and not a mystery.
All right. Well, I've been trying my best to do a lot of different venues, and so I really appreciate your help and collaboration. It is amazing to have a friend in this fight, because there's not many people that are awake and that are willing to talk about this. A lot of people want to run away from the truth so much. I've dealt with it so much in my life. So I really am honored and just blessed right now at this moment. I feel great. I'm going to sleep good tonight, and knowing that, we've got a stronger team. So I just can't wait to meet more influential people like yourself, brother. I mean, I feel at home around people that are with the same sentiment as myself. So, I am humbled and I am honored, and I just want to say God bless you and everybody around you and us, and God bless Lowndes County until we can change the name of Lowndes County maybe one day, from being some slave owner name to something completely different maybe. God bless. Yes, sir.
Can I give my closing words?
Sure, definitely.
These are my closing words.
Okay.
When I said I am history, next time on a video when we get together, I don't like nobody to go away confused. I will break down and explain to you all what I mean when I say I am his so rich. I can master that. At some point, I want to you all.
I see where you're going with that. That is definitely, I've learned that that's called green language, but his story, I am his story. I see what you're saying. You are. I am too. I see what you're saying, brother. And I am encouraged by that. And so many people will know with the excitement that we have, and that, within our own journeys, when we've come to this type of realization like you just stated, that is an enlightening and beautiful point in one's life. When they get to that point where they understand the words, the knowledge of just the language that we openly speak every day and how powerful that is, that's another broadcast in itself. So, I mean, there's so many topics to cover, but we know what we got to do. We just got to keep hammering those nails. We got to keep hammering and hammering and hammering until we get done with all the nails we need to hammer, and we'll get done with the project. So I am encouraged. I appreciate your last words there. If you have any more, go ahead. We're at 53 minutes right now on this voice call, but 43 minutes broadcasting. So, yeah.
I just want to say that anybody that wants to know more about George Boston Rhymes, you can go to kvci.blogspot.com on my blog, or you can go to G.B.R.HYNES.blogspot.com, or you can go to JSF.blogspot.com, or you can come to YouTube, Boston G.B.R., and you will see over 2,200 subscribers and over 1 million views around the world. Mm-hmm. Some of my greatest listeners and watchers used to come from Canada and, believe it or not, Korea.
Oh, wow.
And most of Korean people are military people who hit me up on YouTube. And I've been doing this for a long time because I am pregnant, but I can't give birth. So you can only imagine the pain that I'm in.
I know it. And the Lord knows it. The Spirit of God knows it. So we all know it. We feel it. Some people just haven't discerned what it is yet. But we'll give it to them. We'll bring it to them the best way that the vessel is going to be able and willing to do. And I'm more than able and willing to be a vessel for truth. So I know you are, sir, and I really do appreciate your time. So we'll go ahead and cut it off. And I thank everybody for joining. I know that most of the people that are watching this right now, you're going to see this in hindsight. But we'll get to more in-depth talk about a continuation of this type of broadcast and see where we can go from here. So thank you, everybody out there. I really do appreciate your time. So we're over and out. Thank you so much.
Peace down to you.
Thank you, brother.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
On behalf of the Get To Free Press, I want to thank you for watching. Behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. For it is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, as the dew of Hermon, and as the dew that descended upon the mountains of Zion. For there the Lord commanded the blessings, even life forevermore. Please remember, my good people, that when truth comes into the minds of those that seek truth, then all falsehood must vanish, and falsehood is forever a vanishing thing. So, my brothers and sisters, if you enjoyed today's broadcast, we invite you to click the like button and to share this with your friends, family members, and if necessary, your enemies. But in the end, truth, right, and justice will win without exception. Bye-bye. We go.